My second body cost a lot. After I bought it, I just wore it home. Reading philosophy.
Hello, everybody. I'm Larry Ridley, and this is the NFL on EA Sports. Anticipation is mounting for today's game, and we've got two quarterbacks looking to make an impact. It's the Falcons going up against the Raiders. With that, we'll send it over to Brandon Godden and Charles Davis. They've got the call in this Week 5 matchup.
All right, Larry, after an off-season of questions, football is back here in the East Bay at Oakland, California. Straight ahead, we've got a good one on tap here between the Atlanta Falcons and the Oakland Raiders. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. They come up in an offset eye. The first carry now. This is Johnson. And he's going to be stopped here on this first play as he gets it to the line of scrimmage and no more. It's a loss of a yard there, and now second down.
Doesn't matter who you're rooting for in this game. The effort of the man with the football, getting away from one and trying to turn forward and get some yardage, I really liked what he did there.
He'll look to throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete. Amari Cooper, his intended receiver, and that'll make it third down. And the big boys up front in the trenches, what do you think of the O-line, Charles?
I love them because this is a group that's so cohesive. They know what the man next to them is going to do at all times, and they operate as a terrific unit.
Going to throw right side here, complete. Well, we saw the practice film this week. They wanted to focus on these intermediate passing plays, and it paid off there.
And they took that focus not just to the practice field, but in the film room to show the guys exactly what they wanted, what types of looks they should expect to get, and how they would beat those coverages each and every time, and it paid off on that play.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to leave this for his running back. It's complete. It'll be a pickup of just 2, and it'll make it second down. And here now the defensive starters for Atlanta.
Vic Beasley's a very talented outside linebacker whose number one task, rush the passer. But he has the athletic ability to drop into coverage.
And they still need 8 yards for the first here on second down.
Here we go now.
On play action, they'll throw. And incomplete there. A nice hit. Jars the ball free and brings up third down.
So much of this game is focus and concentration. And whenever I see guys running the in route, I know that in the back of their mind, they're always wondering who's lurking inside that might put a big hit on them as they try and catch the ball.
A nickel back added defensively as they look to stop this 3rd and 8. They'll set up a throw. Looking for Perriman, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. Certainly not how they envisioned ending their opening drive here in the first quarter.
Too many ones in this play. First quarter, first drive, first interception thrown.
And that last one, that hurts. And he works his way forward for about 4 up to the midfield stripe. The wide receivers, often a very, very talented group, and that's the case here.
And they don't mind showcasing it either. Those guys love to be flashy, love to make big plays out in the open field. They will attempt to do so in this game.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A really nice gain of 25 yards.
Of course, the catch was nice, but how about what happened after? Able to stay on his feet and gain all that additional yardage. So many of these slot guys, I think, have running back in their background.
Now a play fake here on first down. And he can't quite bring it in. Might have heard footsteps there across the middle. Second down. Time to meet the defensive starters for the Oakland Raiders. And you want to discuss one of their safeties.
I certainly do. Carl Joseph out of West Virginia. Always did a great job policing the middle of the field. A big hitter, knocked the ball away. But really added to his game as last year as a Mountaineer. Became a better cover guy and a better ball hawk before he got injured. They're really going to love him in Oakland. Offensive linemen love creating space for their guys carrying the ball. But when that guy also breaks tackles and creates extra yardage, they almost feel like he's one of them, and they really embrace him.
He's got his man. It's Williams. It's a gain of 3, and it gets him the first.
I'd love to sit down at some point in our offseason and talk to these defensive coordinators in the red zone. Tight end is obviously a big threat, yet these guys continue to make plays. Is there any other way to stop them?
Apparently not. And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. Coach hinted to us that we may see some old power football here in this game. We got a taste of it on that first down run.
I love how he hinted it to us, and then when we were watching practice, we were watching what they call inside drill with the offensive and defensive line, and they kept putting more defenders on the other side and saying, block that. I don't care how many guys are in there. I want to run the football this week. And, boy, it has paid off for them in this game. And that was a nice play by the defense, and it is tough to be an offensive lineman nowadays, especially if you're dealing with how the defensive tackles have evolved. Their quickness, their agility, their speed has changed the big guys in the middle, the center, and the offensive guards. Formerly, they were just power players. Now they have to be light on their feet as well to keep up with the speed of the defensive players.
So they're back at the 7 now for 3rd and goal. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And that is caught. Touchdown, Falcons. Their dangerous wide receiver. His 5th touchdown now on the year. And the Falcons have taken the early lead. And all about timing there on that short slant, Charles.
Exactly right. That was timed up so well. The route, the throw, touchdown.
Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And in hindsight, probably should have stayed where he was, as he'll only get back to the 16-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And following the interception, we'll see what they can put together on this drive.
I can hear my old college coach right now. He always used to tell us before every game, the team making the fewest mistakes will win. What they're hoping is that that last mistake is their only one of the game.
Coaches, that's all they talk about, turnovers, right?
Minimizing those and maximizing opportunities.
All right, here we go. Boom, landed. Detroit. Over.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. And he's got his man on the out route. And he'll be out of bounds just shy of the 30. 15 yards through the air and a first down.
No matter how you evaluate quarterbacks, at some point arm strength is going to come into the conversation. I'm really impressed by what I saw on that throw on the out route.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Dumping it off for Johnson. Legs still churning.
Like a giant pinball.
And he's able to get out to the 32, brought down there. Call it a 3-yard gain, and it's a second down. Well, clearly one of his advantages as a passer is his height. Sit back in the pocket, fired over the middle. That makes things tougher defensively, doesn't it?
It really does, because your goal is to move the quarterback off his initial spot when he gets his drop back completed. But when you have that type of height, he can stay in there if he's willing to take the hits and just fire over the top, which saves him time and actually completes a play a little bit quicker than it normally does for a quarterback who has to slide and find open space to throw.
And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. That one goes for 13 yards, and it moves the sticks.
That looked like a pretty good route combination there, because you've got to find a way to clear the guy running the drag, because when you do, you just put the ball on him and then let him run.
Yeah, he's got some space.
All right, here we go. Green.
A handoff as they run the counter play. And no room to maneuver there. Give him a yard up to the 47.
A 1-yard gain can look like a disaster, but it all depends on how the game is going. Is it a series of 1-yard gains running the ball? If that's the case, you might have to start thinking about throwing it a little bit more. But if it's just the occasional 1-yard run, hey, congratulations to the defense. They won that one. Come back and get them the next time.
And he'll fight his way forward to about the 48-yard line. Back-to-back 1-yard runs here, so that leaves him with a 3rd down and 8.
The best defensive linemen, they play with great leverage so they can get low and not get bowled over by offensive linemen. They have excellent hands. They can throw people off on a play. We just saw a great example of a really good run stop by a guy playing the defensive tackle position.
A good pickup there of 20 yards.
And fits the exact right word. Over the middle, there's almost always traffic, so anytime you're a receiver in that area, you're not just focused on catching the football. You're wondering where the collision's going to come from, right? Because there's almost always someone there able to concentrate, catch it, and even added a little extra at the end with a short run.
And that's one of his advantages of a passer, is it not? With his height, setting back there in the pocket, firing it over the middle, he can really see everything clearly.
It is, and I know that other quarterbacks get it done different ways, all right? You don't have to be his height to make a great play, but what he does is he takes away having to make those slide steps in the pocket to find angles to throw the ball through. He just throws right over the top of it because he can see everything, and sometimes that saves time and gets the ball to a receiver quicker.
And he'll be brought down here at the 3-yard line. It'll be a pickup of 10 yards, and it'll be 2nd and very short.
It's a nice completion and a little bit of run after catch as well to create the yardage that they got. But it is so tough to cover that route, the drag route, because they run it at varying speeds. Because the key is to create hesitancy on the defender's part.
Always so empathetic for those DBs, aren't you? He'll look to throw. Steps away to his left. Stays on his feet. Into the end zone. Oakland Raiders touchdown.
That was not a designed run. It was a run. What a scramble for a touchdown.
Extra point attempt to come here. It's good, and we're all tied at 7 apiece. So we're right back where we started, all even as the kick's away. And this will not be returnable. It's out of the back of the end zone for a touchback. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they'll just simply be looking to build off the confidence of the last time out where they scored a touchdown.
And confidence is powerful, isn't it? When you've scored once, you feel like you can go back out there and get it done again. Doesn't matter what the defense throws at them. They feel like they're in a groove right now, and they want to get out there and show it.
Yeah, hoping to stay in that groove here this go-around. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be 2nd down.
The evaluation process in today's NFL does not take into account as much bulk as it does speed, and that's what we're seeing with the linebacker position. Those guys that can run, they can play at any spot because they can make plays on the opposite side of the line of scrimmage.
And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And now a 1st down following that long gain. Alongside Charles Davis, Brandon Gaudin, it's the Falcons in possession to begin quarter number 2, and they've got it here with a 1st down. They'll look to throw here. Got a man over the middle. It's Williams. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. And now the passing game here in the 2nd quarter starting to heat up a little bit.
Don't you feel the rhythm starting to happen, right? You see it. Now the confidence is starting to rise. I think now as a play caller, because that has happened, you lean on it a little bit more. You don't go totally away from running the football, but you do say, guess what? We can throw it. We can throw it well with a whole lot of confidence.
A good convergence there defensively, only a yard, and it's 2nd down.
So many things have to come together just right for a screen pass to break for big yardage. The blocking, the timing of the pass to the runner, everything has to fit together just right. But on that play, the defense was able to disrupt things and hold it to a short gain.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's swallowed up right near the line of scrimmage. And they'll lose a yard that time, and that's going to lead to a third down.
Brandon, that play ended so fast, it's almost as if the quarterback handed it to the runner, and the tackler was there right away for a loss of yardage.
And defensively, it's a nickel formation here on 3rd down and 9. They'll set up to throw, and this is going to be incomplete.
It's a tried-and-true formula, and I don't think it'll change for as long as we play football. If someone's trying to throw the ball and you can put pressure on them and make it tough, that's only going to help your defense.
Yeah, he's since being hurried. He got rid of it before taking the hit, but incomplete. A little bit of a lower trajectory there on the deep kick, and it worked.
Had to do it because he had to drive it out low because of the length of the kick. Able to do that, got it above the defense and over the post.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. And no return on this one as the fair catch is signaled for and taken. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And that last drive, a long drive, but not just that. They had a great air attack going. Did they stick with that?
I would think that they would, because if they were confident enough to do it on the last drive, starting backed up in their own territory, why would you change anything? They've got to be confident about what they're presenting and continue to do so.
Yeah, because the secondary, they really look clueless.
And that was amazing because that drive went and went, no adjustments, and no big plays by the defense to knock the ball away.
One receiver to the left is Cooper. They'll look to throw here on 1st down. It's caught by Clive Walford. And he's taken down, but not before he gets this into enemy territory across the 40.
Partner, it's a lot of fun watching the NFL now, isn't it? Because when the big fella runs routes, it used to be when we were kids, he'd run about 3 different routes, and that was it. Now he can run anything and catch the balls we just saw there.
And a short gain there down to the 37-yard line. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down.
That's a good play by the guys on the defensive side of the ball. Held them to a gain of 2. And that changes the playbook a little bit now for the guy calling plays. 2nd and 8. Now he's got to probably think about going to the air instead of maybe staying with the ground game.
Back to throw. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. They'll wind up losing 3. And now it's 3rd down.
That play was well covered. Just tried to check it down. Unfortunately, we're not able to find any yardage on that one.
So still a full 10 yards to go here for the offense on 3rd down.
Now let's go. Green.
Off the play fake, he'll look to throw. Toward the sideline. Did he keep the feet in? Yes, he got them both down, says the side judge. And that's good enough for a 1st down.
And that's how you pick up a 1st down. Not only does he make the catch, but has enough body control to get his feet down inbounds, toe tapping and dragging to make sure he gets it done.
The 1st down carry here for Johnson. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
And that's exactly what you want on a 1st down run. Pick up 5 yards, bring up 2nd and 5. The defensive line, though, they've got to figure out a way to out-leverage the guys up front because the offensive line is winning at the point of attack.
They'll drop the throw. And the hit jarred it loose. It's incomplete.
Normally, he's pretty reliable. Usually catches what's thrown to him. On that play, he simply dropped it.
Play number 7 now coming up on the drive. 3rd and 5.
Good. Now let's go. Green, 39. All right, now lucky 56. Lucky 56.
They'll look to throw. And he'll have his man. That's 13 and picks up the 1st. 9 yards on the pickup there, and it keeps the drive alive. Well, they've had a great, impressive drive going here, and that pickup ensures the drive continues.
And not only do you continue the drive, which is demoralizing for the guys on the defensive side of the ball right now, but you make your own defense happy. They're able to get a little more rest over on the sidelines while this one continues downfield.
Fighting him off.
Just ran right through the trash.
And he's going to get about 4 down inside the 10 to the 9.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on first down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Looking to jam the receivers at the line here. Press coverage look defensively.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39. Green 39.
They're going to look to throw. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The big tight end, Clive Walford, the intended target. And it's 3rd down. Well, just play after play after play on this long drive for the offense.
All defenders get tired of hearing about their lack of hands and why they're playing defense instead of offense. But in this situation, it was the hands that made the play. Batting the ball away on an attempted touchdown pass. Excellent job. Way to knock it down. Slants are so tough to cover because everything happens so fast, but sometimes it happens too fast for the guy catching the ball because all of his movements have to be quick off the line of scrimmage, and then all of a sudden the ball's right on top of you, and maybe he got a little bit ahead of himself there.
Yeah, a lot of times coming in with good pace, and he dropped it. And Charles, they get the field goal. Took him a dozen plays, though.
Work with me on this one. You know what I'm about to say, right? Bend but don't break. That's what came into play here for the defense. 12 plays were run at them. They only gave up 3 points. In a lot of ways, that's a win for the defense.
So a tie ball game here as the kick's away. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted. And we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see.
Set. Green. Over. Back 99 Philly. Here we go. No. Check. Patriot. Right, here we go. Green. Over.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's got time. And he'll be hit as he releases it, and that'll fall incomplete.
When defenses get to the quarterback that quickly, a lot of times it's called a jailbreak. It wasn't quite that fast, but fast enough that he had no time to look downfield and set himself to throw the ball. And as he tried to do that, he was hit, and it forced an incompletion.
All right, here we go. Blue 90.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again. Caught left side, Hopkins. 15 yards through the air on a first down.
Everything about that play was beautiful. A great corner route where the receiver worked the defensive back inside and then broke back to the outside to the corner. But how about the throw by the quarterback? Anticipation on the break from inside to outside. He threw the football. As the receiver turned around, the ball greeted him.
And his throw is incomplete. The tight end, Max Williams, the intended receiver. That'll bring up 2nd down.
They tried to make something happen, but that one came up incomplete and really wasn't a good-looking throw.
Yeah, maybe even go as far as to call that a little ill-advised.
Yeah, I would say so. I think that's the right phrase for it. Definitely ill-advised. Just wonder about his mechanics right now, you know, and that's the tough part. You do so much stuff in practice to make it repetitive, but it has to repeat under pressure, whether it's pressure from the defense or just the pressure of playing the game.
They give him 13 yards there on the play and a fresh set of downs.
You don't have to be a finished product to show some pretty good glimpses of what could be in this league, and we just saw an example of it on that nice run there. When I looked at him coming out of college, I saw a guy with raw, terrific ability. I couldn't wait to see how it was going to be harnessed and polished up in the NFL. In fact, some people thought he could play a little slot receiver as well as run the football. This guy has the ability to be a big-time player with more seasoning.
Shift together here from the D-line. Now they'll throw here out of the gun. It's complete to Hopkins. So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. They come out here in the eye. Back to throw. And this is caught for a Falcon touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver, his second touchdown on the season. And the Falcons have broken our tie. On those slants, everything happens so quickly. What makes it work?
The timing between the passer and the receiver. In this case, a slant route ordinarily is probably about 3 steps before you go on the slant. In this amount of time, I think it was a 2-step deal. Boom, put his foot in the ground and got inside for the pass.
Got inside for the pass, got inside for the catch and the score. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And last time they got 3 points, but it was a chip shot field goal. And when you go to the sideline after a chip shot field goal, maybe the offense not too happy.
It's a balancing act, isn't it? Because you're exactly right. They're none too pleased that they didn't punch it in for 6 points. But they also have to remember
And he fires one that's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And he brings it back to right around the 26-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they will simply, Charles, be looking to duplicate what they did last drive when they were able to push it in for 6.
And they hope it'll be that easy, right? To be able to take exactly what happened before, replicate it. They may have to make a few additional changes along the way because I'm sure the defense will make some adjustments.
A 50-50 ball here, and it's intercepted. A great read, and it's picked off. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. And last time, 1-play interception. So this offense, they should be fresh.
That's a good way of putting it. And I can't wait to see what they decide to do with play call.
Now loose football. The ball comes out. And they'll be inside the red zone with a ball at the 16-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And last time wasn't pretty. 1 play and an interception. We'll see if they can do better.
I want to see if they want to go ahead and throw the ball again now on this drive after what happened on the last one. Throw it on the first play. Give the quarterback some confidence.
See what happens. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. Wasn't able to get anything, no gain. Fumbled once already. Maybe he's being a little careful. Not necessarily on that play, but I'm sure that's in his mind somewhere.
Oh, without a doubt, because protecting the football is job one for anyone who's carrying it, and that's exactly what he tried to do on that play, but it didn't gain him any yardage.
Robert Woods, the intended receiver that time. And now it's third down.
While we're not playing 3 yards in a cloud of dust football anymore, I kind of get why those old school coaches sometimes didn't want to throw the football. Because if it's popped up in the air, it almost turns into slow motion, and both sides trying to get to the football, and you're holding your breath wondering whether it's going to go good or bad for your team.
Wide open receiver complete. It's a good gain of 11, sets him up first and goal. And there they went crossing route against the zone defense. What do you think of that?
Takes real coordination between the passer and the receiver because you've got to read those zones and where the open spots are and be on the same page with the guy throwing the football. Because sometimes you're throwing it in front of the zone. Sometimes you're throwing it between the zones. Sometimes the receiver's going to just kind of find a spot and what we call sit down and present himself to the quarterback and throw it there. It's a tough read, but when they're in sync, it's really effective.
Now back to throw. That's caught at the 1. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down.
When you see zone defense and you know you've got a drag route on as your primary call, you've got to be really careful as a passer about how far you let your guy go because he might wander into some tough coverage.
They've gotten it to the 1. Can they get that final yard here on third and goal? And they'll go ground game here with a tailback. And he will take it in for a Falcon touchdown. A great effort there in the final seconds of the first half. And the Falcons will add on to their lead. He missed one earlier, remember, but this time he gets it to go. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. This will be fielded at the 8. And He's up across the 25 and down at the 28-yard line. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And from this spot in the field with the clock where it's at, you think we're just going to see a knee and that's it?
And I think in this situation, that's the proper play. But we do know there's some risk takers out there that may want to take one more shot before the clock runs out.
They go play action here on first down. And he fires one incomplete. We have hit halftime. Still 2 more quarters to go. We'll take a timeout. We'll be back after this. You're watching the NFL, and it's on EA Sports.
It's in the game.
Both teams appear ready for the fight ahead, and we resume action here in quarter number 3. And this will be a touchback as that sails over the end line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. They built a good first half lead. Now they have a chance to add on to it.
And what I'm thinking is that the offensive staff spent the entire halftime just working with them on, here's what we think they're going to do to attack us in the second half. Nice first half that we've had, guys, but be prepared for some change-ups. We're going to see them when we kick it off in the second half.
See how they handle any adjustments that might be made defensively.
I think that's a big pickup for a first down because when you run a drag route against zone, you're sometimes asking for trouble because you might run into a defender.
Yeah, well, there they ran into a first down, executed it to perfection. They'll run it now out of the gun. And there just continues to be nowhere to run. He's bottled up again at the line of scrimmage. No gain, and it's second down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
Ooh, with a juke. Give him 10 yards on the pickup, and they'll be faced with a 3rd and inches.
Look, the first down marker is out there, but sometimes it's hard to find for an offense when they're in a long yardage situation, which usually means throw the football. In this case, they went against the tendency and ran it, and boy, the reward was there. A big pickup, and guess what? It's now 3rd and very short in order to try and pick up a first down.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he will have the first down as he's brought down up near midfield.
Well, we always hear about the connections some quarterbacks have with certain receivers. I think this guy has a connection with just about everyone. Didn't mind throwing it in there against double coverage to him.
Show some confidence, supreme confidence.
Big-time confidence that he would make the play for him, and he did. On any passes in the middle of the field, anyone who's going after the football is going to be conscious that it's probably going to be contested, and often physically. Sometimes that leads to drops.
So 2nd and 10 here. They'll come out in the pistol. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So here comes the Raiders offense getting ready for their first possession of the second half.
With no running backs in the backfield to help pass protect, all the receivers in their patterns, it's going to be hot routes. If they sense a blitz or pressure on the quarterback, they've got to be prepared to break routes off early and get the football. In this case, never even had a chance. They popped the ball free in the backfield.
And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down. So the incomplete pass brings up second down.
Anytime a ball's thrown in the middle of the field and it's popped up in the air, I expect someone to catch it. Doesn't matter whether it's offense or defense because there's usually a great amount of bodies in that part of the field. In this case, no one came up with it.
A really nice gain of 25 yards. And at this stage, down in the second half, looks like they just wanted to find a way to get it in the hands of their playmaker, and they did.
I think you're exactly right. I don't think the coordinator's looking at his play sheet and trying to figure out which play will work well. He's trying to figure out how to get the ball to the playmaker that you just described. Looking down at that sheet, you find people plays, not necessarily X's and O's, and that's exactly what they did there. If you're a defender, one of the fun things about playing zone defenses, especially in today's football, is that it's not as static as it was in the good old days, meaning you just drop to a point and react into the football. Now you end up with a lot of man-to-man principles once you get into your zone defense. In other words, get to your assignment and then locate a guy coming into your area, and then you end up covering him almost man for man. That allows him to make more plays on the football like the one we just saw there.
First and goal, they'll look to smash it in. Maybe a quarterback sneak here. And he'll actually lose a little bit of yardage here. Back to the 2. That's going to go as a loss of 2, and it'll be second down.
We just saw another example of how the defense is winning this game. Really at the point of attack, the offensive line is just getting pushed around. I think now as a play caller, you've got to give them a little bit of help. Maybe you keep your tight ends a little bit more. Maybe the running backs help you a little bit with the pass block.
And he's going to be intercepted a third time. A great read, and it's picked off. And tough starting field position here. They come out here in the eye. They'll give it to him right up the gut. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be second down. In a 3-4 defense there and against the run, a lot of responsibility can fall on that nose tackle.
A ton of responsibility, no pun intended, because they got to deal with not just the center, both guards, and a lot of times they have to eat up double teams in order to let the rest of the guys get to the football. But how about that play? He not only did he eat up the double team, he ate up the ball carrier as well.
I was going to say, talking about puns, you said eat up the double team. From deep in their own territory, they look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. A good pickup there, 26 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels. Again, we'll see the pistol here. Looks like the defense can press coverage here. And he'll give it here to his running back. And he is going to lose yardage here. It's a loss of 2 there, bringing up second down.
Well, in that play, the expression, don't blink, you might miss something, certainly applied. That was fast. Defense diagnosed the play, and it was over in a heartbeat.
Defense showing blitz.
Hurry up, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They'll set up to throw. Wide open receiver complete. And he takes this one just shy of midfield all the way to the 49.
That was a nice completion on an out route, and those types of plays are the result of arm strength by the quarterback and timing by the receiver.
And now a first down following that long gain. They'll run it now out of the gun. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. Yeah, give him 4 yards there. It'll be second and 6.
Some of the most unselfish players on any football team, defensive tackles, because we ask them to just eat up blocks and allow other people to make tackles. But when he can make a play himself, as we just saw there, that's a big day.
All right, here we go. Now, check. Patriot.
From the shotgun, he'll look to throw. He's going to flip one out here to his running back. 17 yards on the pickup there. The drive will continue. It's a first down.
We can talk all we want about football being a game of strength and brawn. It's also a game of mismatches, and they're trying to create one there, getting it to their back out of the backfield to make a bigger play.
As we often say, get it to him in space, let him use his leg.
Yeah, if he can get a matchup against a linebacker or maybe a defensive end dropping out in a zone blitz, he's going to win that battle just about every time.
They'll run it now out of the gun. So a nice job to break the one tackle, but not much daylight after that as he's brought down. He's brought down that time by a couple of Raiders.
We always like to talk about defense in terms of levels. First level defensive line, second level linebackers, third level defensive backs. On that run, that was what we call a first level run, and it was stopped by a second level player.
And they'll go on the ground. And he's going to take this one down to about the 23-yard line. 3 yards is half of what they needed. Now can they get the other 3 here on third down?
One thing that I observed when Dante Fowler was coming out in the NFL draft, how hard he played the game. Every time I turned on a tape, he was either rushing the passer, making a play, or making a play in space against the ball downfield, or hustling from one sideline to the other. How about that play right there? Making a nice tackle, holding it to a short gain.
Out of the gun now on third down. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
I know ultimately that feels like a good defensive play, but I know it's really not. They had a chance to keep points off the board. Now they have a chance to kick a field goal by missing that shot.
Yeah, especially at this spot in the field. He's got to be upset he couldn't come up with that INT. So in the end, they had the ball for 10 plays, but the drive only yields 3 points.
Yeah, they were able to move the football, but the defense stiffened once their backs were to the end zone, and they were able to hold them to just 3.
After the made field goal, Santos back out there to kick it away. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And last year that would have been a net gain of 5 on the return. This year he stopped where he would have been if he had taken a knee, and that's at the 25. And now Oakland ready to take the field. And with 3 interceptions thrown already, we'll see. Do they rely more on the ground game here?
They may have to change things offensively to try and settle things down, not just for the guy throwing the ball, but for the rest of the offensive unit, because their confidence has to be shaken a little bit. And you just wonder, is the backup going to start the run?
Rashad Perriman off to the races. And all the way in. Touchdown, Oakland. Rashad Perriman, his first touchdown on the year. And the Raiders get a score closer. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play. And just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to...
And now the pressure gets there, and he goes down. So he couldn't get rid of the football, and that deficit stays right where it is.
But they tried to get 2 and ended up getting none because the quarterback had nowhere to go with the ball and ends up getting sacked.
Nowhere to go at all. Great job, though, defensively. They were ready. And they will not get a chance to return this one as it's through the end zone for a touchback. Now the Falcons offense, they get ready to head back out here. And last time they were able to churn some clock. They got the field goal, added onto their lead, but that was a drive that was so long it should have ended in a touchdown. You know that's how they felt.
And we'll both be headed to the airport after the game. But we probably should go to the post-game press conference because someone's going to ask the head coach about this drive, and he's going to profess that he was happy to get points, and we know that's not true.
Yeah.
Okay, after this type of a drive, not getting a touchdown, a huge disappointment.
And he finally goes down, but not before reaching the 21.
As we continue to advance in the NFL, as people continue to scout players, they really don't care as much about body types as they care about those guys who can make people miss, run through tackles, and gain all that additional run after catch. Anybody who has that ability, they want them on their team.
Here we go. 3-19. Over. Black 99 Philly. Here we go.
Back to throw now on first down. And seeing no options, he just tosses this one away incomplete. Now that'll bring up second down. Well, the numbers have been good in the passing game, and certainly a big reason why they have the lead. But now here, third quarter, maybe go to the run game a little more?
Yeah, perhaps. I mean, after that incompletion, a little credit to the defense for shutting them down on that play. Maybe you try and run the football a little bit more in this spot. But they have to feel good about how they've been throwing it overall.
1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9. Back now in the East Bay. It's the Falcons. They've got the football. They've got the lead as we get set to start the 4th. So second down was a run. Now whistles, and the Raiders are going to signal for a timeout. It's just their first. They'll be down to 2 remaining as we step aside here in the fourth quarter.
Let's go! Detroit! Detroit! Detroit!
On third down, he'll drop to throw. And he couldn't hang on to it through the contact. Incomplete.
It looked like they had something there, but I think that he was thinking about running with the football before he actually hauled it in, and that led to a big drop.
And Santos able to put this one up and through. It's good, and that will extend their lead even further. So they settle for just the 3 there, but clearly anything helps when you're trying to salt one away here in the fourth.
Without a doubt, I think a touchdown would have been the final nail. But 3 does give him some breathing room and lets him build up a little cushion.
This is taken about 7 yards deep. And the decision to bring it out is going to cost him about 7 yards all told as he's taken down back shy of the 20. And now here come the Raiders. And the wideout in motion. They'll try and start this drive in the air. And this one's incomplete. Ten yards still left on second down. They come out 5 wide, 3 of them to the right side.
Let's go!
And second and 10, he'll look to throw again. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. A great read, and it's picked off. And he's able to get it back to right around the 27. And here now come the Falcons. And they're not going to play this conservative, I don't think. They had the field goal last time, and they're up, but they're looking to put a drive in the end zone.
Oh, I agree with you totally. No one goes out on the field and says, all right, let's just settle for 3, except in certain situations, trying to ice a game, that sort of deal. Most of the time, it's end zone, and that's what you're thinking, and I believe that's exactly what they're thinking as they begin this one.
Yeah, no quarterback ever goes out there saying, hey, let's get 3, right?
Not one that I've ever met.
Second down following the run.
Let's go!
They'll drop the throw. This will be caught at about the 3. And he is into the end zone for a Falcon touchdown. Their dangerous wide receiver. His 2nd touchdown of the game, his 3rd on the year. And the Falcons use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. And that one pushes the lead up to an even 20. Now after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. Oakland ready to take the field. And following the interception, just any interception, are you a little bit more cautious when you start that next drive, or no, you just throw that out the window?
I think you are. I don't think that there's any way you can run back out there and go, totally didn't affect me. Let's just go ahead and be loose with the football again. You're going to take care of it, but you have to be careful about being too cautious because now you can't run any offense at all.
Still want to attack. We'll see how they attack them here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll take this up near the 35, maybe the 34. Give him 9 on the carry that time, and they're set up with a 2nd and 1.
Some runs are blocked so well, you almost forget that someone has to carry the ball to gain the yardage. The leverage by the offensive line to create space up front, really well done.
See if they stay on the ground for 2nd down.
Here we go!
Now they'll throw here out of the gun. And this is incomplete. So it is third down now, but less than a yard to go.
Set. Green, 39. Green.
Looking to throw. It's complete to Grant. And he's got the first down yardage before he's brought down at the 42.
And Brandon, from our time in college football, where receivers weren't running the traditional NFL route tree, one thing they did learn, find open areas, find soft spots, and set up and catch the ball. And I think we just saw that there.
Yeah, we saw that indeed, picking up the first.
Watch it now, Barney. Barney.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. And this one is incomplete. And a big face mask penalty here, 15 yards.
You never want to get your hands up in the face mask area because your fingers can get tangled up there, and that can hurt you as a player.
One receiver to the left is Cooper.
Green, 39. Back 99, Philly. Here we go.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. And my goodness, another interception. Picked off by Wesley Woodyard. And his guys are going to get the football at the 28-yard line. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And they were able to punch it in the end zone last time. They'll be looking to do that again here for the defense. Obviously, they'll be looking to stop them from punching it back in the end zone.
It always is punch-counter-punch, isn't it? And which team has the advantage? Well, let's just go back. Last time on offense, they rolled downfield, got into a good rhythm. You can see a little more bounce in and out of the huddle. You can see the sideline really get into the game. So defensively, you're thinking to yourself, how do we take that away from them? How do we get the advantage back? Let's see what they come up with. I think pressure is always the first way to go.
You love pressure.
I love it.
We'll see if they dial it up this drive. Call it a gain of 4 on first, and that'll make it second down. And in this situation with a lead fourth quarter, they're liking keeping the ball on the ground, I'm sure.
That's just smart football, but you know the defense has to know it as well. They've got to stop them here. So now we're going to see that loading the box in a big way. 6, 7, 8, 9, whatever it's going to take, puts a little bit more pressure on your big offensive line.
Now they'll run it on the toss. They juked him. Wow, incredible.
Miss.
And now the rookie's free. And they will finally catch him, but not before he gets it to the 11. Yardage-wise, he's in the top handful of backs in the league so far this season. A great run there.
He's going to love that standing when it comes to contract time. But even more so, his team loves it because he gives them an identity and sets a tone.
So after that big gain, let's see what else the offense has up its sleeve. Now a handoff here to his running back. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. A great play there. With his second touchdown of the game, 4th of the year. And the Falcons turn that interception into a touchdown. Now the point after try for Santos. And that stretches the lead to 27. Now, after the touchdown, here's Santos to kick this one away. This will be taken to the back of the end zone. And no thought to bring this one out. He'll just go down to a knee, and they'll take over at the 25. The Raiders offense now, they trot back out. They come up in an empty set. 4 wide receivers, 1 tight end. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. He couldn't quite hold it. Got hit. Ball pops out. Incomplete.
We know it's not an easy job to go out and catch passes when people are trying to tackle you and knock the ball away. But the bottom line is, that's a pass he's got to have and a pass he should have caught.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. And he's brought down, getting this one up to about the 35. It's a 10-yard pickup, and it moves the chains.
Doesn't matter whether it's a zone coverage or man coverage, the drag route can be effective when it's run well.
first down carry for Henry. And he's got room. And able to get this one across the 45 before he's brought down. 13 yards there on the pickup. Good enough for an Oakland first down. Out of the gun, they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a man wide open, complete. And he's brought down. 17 yards on the pickup there, and the drive will continue.
Well, coaches always talk about finding balance on offense. I don't think you can get much more balance than this. Big-time run, big-time pass.
A 1-2 combination. Looked pretty good.
How about that? Let's see if they can continue to take that kind of a punch, though.
Give him 16 on the pickup, and that'll be good for an Oakland first down.
Now, that run is one to build on, and I know it sounds like a cliche, and it seems like a simple thing, but truthfully, coaches are always looking for something to pull out of a tough day. And right now, this team has had one of those. So that run there, I guarantee you that's a clip and save as they move forward and look towards the next game. And he'll tell his team, this is what we're looking for. This is what we planned for. Let's have more of this to start games as opposed to getting it at the end.
And here comes play number 6 on this drive. Possible run anticipation here as the D-line sandwiches together. He'll look to throw. And nearly another interception. They've been around the ball all game.
Not only did they drop what looked like an interception in the end zone, they blew a golden opportunity to shift the momentum.
Now back to throw. And that is caught. Well, they're going to see this one to the end. They get a score, but pretty much an exercise in futility right now. Still down big. Well, that's about as quick of a passing touchdown as you'll ever see right there.
Everyone has a section in their playbook called the quick game. That was a super quick game. Out of the hands of the thrower, bam, right to the receiver, successfully for a touchdown.
How in-depth is that quick game part of the playbook?
It's pretty in-depth because people want the ball in the hands of the quarterback into the playmaker's hands downfield as fast as possible. There are a lot of plays, a lot of options involved with that.
This will be fielded on the back line of the end zone. And he will take it back only to about the 13-yard line here. Atlanta now coming out on the field. And that recipe on their last drive that resulted in a touchdown looked pretty good, so they'll be hoping to do that once more.
It takes me back to when we sat with the offensive coordinator and the head coach. They felt pretty good about their game plan and thought there were some holes in the defense, and they exploited them the last time out. Let's see if they can come back and put together a similar drive.
And we'll see if they can do just that. And after the play on the ground, that brings up second down here. They'll run it now out of the gun. And for one of the few times here today, this run's not going to go anywhere. He'll pick up only a yard there, and it'll leave him with a 3rd and 7.
Well, I think we know by now that every run is not going to be broken and get all the way to the end zone. But these short ones still have their value. You can still set up your play action and throw the football. You control the clock because you have the ball and they don't. And often the physicality sets the tempo for the game.
They'll give it to him right up the gut. Only a yard on the pickup there, and it's going to leave him with a 4th down. Now the Raiders are going to use another timeout here. That'll leave them with just one remaining in this 4th quarter of play. That's taken on the 25. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15, and the Raiders will take possession. Now the Oakland offense heading back onto the field to take over. They're down big here late. I don't know. You just One last drive here for Pride.
Some people like to do that. I remember playing for a guy once. We were down huge, and someone said, "Coach, what do you want to call?" He just waved a hand like, "Who cares? Let's get out of here and do something some other time." But some teams like to do something at the end to feel a little bit better as they continue to move forward.
Yeah, probably just want to put this one behind them.
All right, here we go.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And no escaping this time as he'll go down. They got him for a sack. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack. And the offense moving quickly to the line. Here's a play fake as they set up to throw. Oh, there's that man again. It's complete. And he carries this one all the way down to the 9. That one goes for 24 yards. So after that big play, let's see if they can catch their defense maybe on their heels.
Love the call by the offensive coordinator, recognizing the situation very well, calling for the play-action pass, and completing it.
Amari Cooper, the intended target, and that'll bring up second down.
After all the preparation, all the practice, a play like that will absolutely break your heart. They had everything they wanted, just unable to complete it. In the end zone, a big-time drop.
They'll set up a throw. Here's Wolford over the middle. So he got free of one tackle but couldn't do a whole lot else. Only 3 yards on the catch. It's third down. They got to have 6 here. It's 3rd and goal.
Got to give credit where it's due. Really nice defense on that play. The pitch and catch was successful, but not any run after it.
And now here is another interception. A great read, and it's picked off. And that will write a finish to this ball game. Well, Charles, it's one thing to win. It's another thing to win and put up the amount of points that they did. Boy, were they clicking on offense.
They can't help but feel great about themselves, can they? I mean, what a game to put up that number of points, continually feel like they're moving the ball and things are working and clicking. They think that they can bottle this and carry it with them.
And as an offensive coordinator, you just don't think you can do anything wrong. Whatever you call, run, pass, it's all going to work.
That's called being in the zone.
So for the Falcons, they move back over 500 at 3-2 now on the year. And they'll head back home next week to take on the Dallas Cowboys. Meanwhile, for Oakland, they'll fall back to 500 at 2-2. And they'll have a tough one at home next week against the Denver Broncos. So that'll just about do it for Charles Davis. I'm Brandon Gaudin. You've been watching the NFL on EA Sports. For more, log on to easports.com. From Oakland, we sign off. So long, everybody.